So let's dive right in. So the first one is belief. So explain belief and and how someone can create a good belief system for themselves.
Okay. So your belief system is like your software going around in your head. And if your software, or in fact, should I say, your software creates how you view the world. So some people's software allows them to view the world like everywhere they go, every person they speak to, they have a great response from that. And yet other people's software creates an effect that they view every conversation they have, every interaction they have, every room they walk into as very negative, and everything's against them. So when we create a belief, it almost creates the foundation of everything, every technique and everything to follow. And most of us go into any unknown environment, anytime we feel fear, thinking I'm either going to do well or it's going to go bad. And we've got that little bit of software playing at the back of our mind. So what I think is a very powerful thing to do is to change that software. And here's why. A very good friend of mine who was able to, one of the most charming people I met, would strike up conversations very elegantly with people. And nobody I ever saw reacted bad to this guy. And I was thinking, wow, I start conversations with strangers everywhere, but not all my conversations go amazing. But this guy was doing something I wasn't. So straight away, I had to learn. And I questioned him about it. And like most charismatic people, he didn't know what he was doing. And I wasn't satisfied with the answer, so I was like clawing away, like trying to get the sticky goo out of his brain. And he said to me, you know what? Every conversation I have goes really well because every conversation I've ever had has gone really well. And I said, okay, that kind of makes sense. So you've got a self-fulfilling prophecy going on. I've got 100% success. Therefore, next conversation I'm going to go up to, it's just going to go really well because my belief is so strong in myself that it's going to go great. So that made a lot of sense to me. The problem is, I was like thinking, well, how do you get this 100% success from the get-go? Because, as I said, some of my conversations completely stunk. And what I realized is my friend wouldn't see, like conversations or talking to people or meeting new people or, giving a presentation on stage or taking an exam. He wouldn't see it as this could go well or this could go bad. He'd actually see it as this could go well or it could be very, very funny. And because of that, he'd always find evidence in whatever he did to support his belief in himself that he was a really charming guy. So, for example, if he spoke to somebody and they burst out laughing, he patted himself on the back because that conversation went really well. If he spoke to somebody and a bit of dribble came out of his mouth and landed on their glasses or something really awkward like that, he patted himself on the back because his exchange went really, really funny.
Right.
And so by doing this, he was creating 100% positive success. And that is what he was taking into every conversation. Because beliefs need evidence to exist. There's a lot of talk in self-improvement industry of affirmations, things you say to yourself in the mirror. And affirmations are a bit of a bugbear of mine. They're a nice idea on paper, but you need evidence to make them work. You can't say to yourself, I'm an amazing person 100 times in a row if there's no evidence to support that. The trouble is, the world is such an inconsistent place. You have to create your own evidence, and you create your own evidence by the way you look at the world. And you do that by tinkering with your beliefs. So what I'd suggest you do, get an imaginary jumbo marker, and instead of on the filing cabinet that says, really bad experiences, cross that out and write really funny stories.
I like that. Yeah, so you're using evidence-based approach, and your mind believes it more instead of rejecting it.
Absolutely.
And then I really liked what you said about what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought. I liked what you talked about beliefs and how even if he failed or even if he failed because he didn't really fail, even if he messed up, he didn't care. So I've been taking some improv classes, and
they're great.
One of the main lessons is to fail gloriously, because when you're on stage, anything goes. And if the audience doesn't know, so if you mess up, if it doesn't work, you just say it with all your enthusiasm, and it will work. It'll be funny, or it just look better than if you kind of just hide it or kind of think it didn't work. Then your whole demeanor changes. So one of the main things is to fail gloriously.
That's one of my
mess up.
Yeah, this is it. one of my favorite lines is the glorious catastrophe. Just throw yourself on the glorious catastrophe of conversation, the wondrous drama of it all, the chaotic symphony. Okay,
Right.
just let it just unfold. Sort the parachute out on the way down from the plane, not like when you're about to jump. And that kind of leads us on to attitude, the next key of charisma.
Okay.